Star Wars, probably one of the most popular franchises in the world. Over the years, we've gotten many games based around the trilogies, old and new. Some were fantastic, some not so much. Today, I'm going to be putting these games in order from 1 to 10, 1 being the best of the best, 10 being the worst. Keep in mind, this is my personal list from games I've played myself or watched gameplay of. If you disagree with my list, give me your personal order in the comments below. So without further introduction, let's get started. Starting off with number 10, we have The Force Unleashed 2, the sequel to the highly popular branch-off story featuring Darth Vader's secret apprentice, Starkiller. This game just didn't hold up to the original stature. The story was rushed and unintelligent, the lightsaber combat was clunky, and it simply didn't have enough content to back it up. And I'm actually glad the sequel isn't canon anymore, because I honestly can't believe as a Darth Vader fan that this dude would be able to beat the Dark Lord twice in a row without a problem. Number 9, Star Wars Battlefront EA. Oh, DICE, where did you go wrong? After years of waiting for another Battlefront game, fans were hyped and excited for EA's version of the franchise, and the trailers looked awesome, stunning graphics, intense action, but what it lacked more than anything upon release was content. Star Wars Battlefront EA didn't have a campaign, and didn't have an instant action mode until months after its initial release, and the instant action mode sucked anyway, with brain-dead bots and no action. But Battlefront did have some replay value because of the constantly changing gameplay, because of the new addition of new guns, maps, and heroes locked behind a $60 season pass that I made the mistake of getting, but it was fun while it lasted, I guess. Number 8, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. So a game about flying around in a ship as a Jedi is a cool concept, right? Well yeah, for its time, Jedi Starfighter did a good job of replicating flying in the Star Wars universe, and it was fun to play when I was bored. But it got old pretty quickly. The story was half-baked, and the constant dogfighting and chasing got really old, really fast. Number 7, Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. DICE, Criterion, and Motive got together to attempt to make a revolutionary Star Wars game, one that included all eras in the franchise, one that had a campaign, and one that had frickin' loot boxes! I'm not kidding. They actually thought loot boxes was a good idea, and it was tied to progression, giving it a pay-to-win aspect. Of course, the game was and still is fun to play occasionally, and the loot boxes are no more. The game has been through some drastic changes during the last few months, but it was still a letdown. A half-assed campaign, lame instant action arcade battles with stupid bots, little to no weapon variation, broken heroes, and topping it off with the angriest community I've ever seen and been a part of. This game is lucky it's only at 7th place. Sorry DICE, I know you tried. Number 6, Bounty Hunter. The somewhat origin story for Jango Fett before the Clone Wars. In this third-person shooter game, you as Jango had to travel around the galaxy to fulfill jobs and hunt down targets. The game was pretty fun, with weapon variety, different levels, and all-around arcadey feel. The game was definitely worth it for its story, because Jango himself was still as badass as he was in Attack of the Clones. Number 5, The Force Unleashed. Finally, we can talk about the first part of the Force Unleashed franchise. Basically, the story used to be canon, but now it takes place in a what-if universe. What if Darth Vader trains in his secret apprentice to become a Sith assassin? But the apprentice soon becomes a Jedi, the more he hangs around his friends Juno, Ram Koda, and his droid, Proxy. The story was awesome, the lightsaber combat was smooth, and the game just had that dark and gritty Star Wars feel. Of course, I'm talking about the PlayStation 2 version, because that was obviously the best one. Number 4, Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic games. You can't have one without the other. So these RPG games take place thousands of years before the prequel trilogy. A brand new story showing the early lore of the Sith and the Jedi. Getting to choose who you want to be in the Star Wars universe is a very important factor to fans. Want to be a Jedi? Well, you can. Want to be a Sith? You can do that too. What about a smuggler or a soldier? Possibilities were limitless. Number 3, Republic Commando. What's not to love about a tactical first-person shooter featuring the most badass clone trooper squad in the entirety of Star Wars? As Delta Squad Leader Boss, you are tasked with leading your group into dangerous missions, able to completely control the positions and tactics of your squad mates, and the game even had online multiplayer where you can keep battling after the campaign is over, and after you're probably done yelling at the TV wanting to go back for Sev. Number 2, Star Wars Battlefront 1, the real Battlefront 1. This game started it all. Massive ground battles across any planet between the two current trilogies. It was awesome. I sat and played this game for hours. The AI was smart for its time. You could even make squad commands to order troopers to follow you, disperse, hold a position, and give you covering fire. And the maps were great too. Every battle was different and unique. Even if you kept repeating the same map over and over again, it always had a different outcome. Before we get to the number 1 spot, here are some honorable mentions. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the whole LEGO Star Wars franchise, and of course, Jedi Outcast. Number 1, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. You know why this game is here. It's tops, it's badass, it's fun, it had a cool campaign, it had heroes, it had space battles, it had Clone Wars content above all. The AI were still smart for their time, and the game hasn't died down one bit since the PC players got a hold of the modding tools to keep making new original content even to this day. In my opinion, this is the best Star Wars game I've ever played. I honestly wish I could go back to this version of Battlefront 2. But there you have it, my top 10 Star Wars games. Thank you all for watching the video, and throw me some suggestions for new videos you guys would like to watch in the future. And I'll see you on the next one.